Hey everybody, Gabe and Nick here with the Garnet Bros Show. So good to have you joining us this week. We're excited to be back after a little bit of a hiatus. And Nicholas, it's time for college football.
Oh man, I'm so ready. It feels like this has been the longest off season of college football ever. And we're definitely excited to be back this weekend. Last weekend we had a big game, I think, in Ireland, and then that was a great game. But this week is officially week one, so we're
You can
ready to.
get up and you can watch game day and you can watch football from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. And then you get to do it again on Sunday.
That's right. Lee Corso's final game day, I think, this Saturday.
It is, it is. And also, on top to make everything better, after all that, you have Monday off.
This is awesome. I love the way they did that. Definitely excited for this weekend.
I'm excited about it too. So, guys, our plan is for this episode is to bring to you some of the biggest games of the weekend and tell you our thoughts on them and break down South Carolina versus Virginia Tech, give you our game predictions, our thoughts, and our keys to the game. One of the very first big games of the weekend, which is the one everyone's talking about, is also happening early. We got Texas, number one Texas versus Ohio State.
Number
That's
three.
going to be huge. So, what do you think about that?
I think it's at Ohio State. I think that these are two of the best teams in the country. Obviously, I mean, both obviously last year playoff teams, and they went pretty far. And obviously, you had Ohio State, which won it all. So I think it's going to be a great matchup. I'm excited that they're getting it done early because we could always see that matchup again later down the road. So it's interesting to see how that plays out.
I'll be honest with you. My prediction for that game is Texas blows them out of the water.
You
That
think?
Texas's roster from top to bottom is full of 5 stars. It is as deep as those Alabama rosters were deep when Saban was winning titles. Texas is legit. They're probably my pick to go all the way. Just saying, hot take, Texas for the national championship. I'm not saying I want them to win, but I think they will win. But if I'm picking between Texas and Ohio State, two of the least likable teams in the country, I guess I'll pull for SEC, and go for Texas, but I think they're going to win anyways. And I think Ohio State is overrated as usual, even though you're right, they did somehow win last year. And our next big game, well, okay, to me, this is a sneaky big game. I was going to get your thoughts on this. To me, this is one that could get interesting. We have Alabama and Florida State. Now we know what happened to Florida State last year. I know what people were going to say. Gabe, you're crazy. Florida State stinks. They're terrible, right? I think that this could be an interesting game. I'm not predicting an upset. I do think Alabama will win, but I do not think Alabama goes in there and just blows them out of the water. I was going to get your thoughts on this.
So I'm leaning the opposite way. I think Alabama's going to go out and blow them out of the water. I think Florida State is completely overrated, just like they were a couple years ago. Even though they went undefeated, missed the playoffs, there was a lot of controversy. The next year, I've never seen a team do a flip like that. And I think Alabama is a sneakily talented team, but still overrated. If that makes sense. I think they have a lot of talent on that roster. You know, Alabama's always going to recruit well and get some big 5-star guys and things like that. But I really think they're gonna go there, and I think they're gonna blow them out of the water. I do.
Well, that's definitely going to be interesting. To me, the most interesting game Saturday happens Saturday night, and it's in South Carolina, but it's not our Gamecocks. In fact, it's the Tigers. I can't even believe I'm sorry. Excuse me. I just threw up a little bit in my mouth there. We have the Tigers versus the Tigers, and so we have to see who's going to win this game in a matchup of who's going to get the rights to call it the actual Death Valley. You have Garrett Nussmeyer versus Cade Kublik, however you say his name. And
Something like that.
apparently, yeah, something like that. We are expecting this to be two of the best quarterbacks in the country. What are your thoughts on this game? What's your prediction for this game? What do you think we're going to see? And then I'll tell you what I think.
All right, this is a game that I've been going back and forth with a lot in my mind. First off, I'm excited to see it. It really feels. I know this is strange to say for week one, but it feels like whoever loses this game is kind of already down on their expectations for the year. I mean, you have two Heisman hopeful or Heisman candidates at least, right? I think Cade is probably number one or number two, and maybe Arch Manning's number one to win it all. But I mean, the talent in this game is going to be phenomenal. Obviously, week one, you can't really predict because everyone's putting their product on the field for the first time. Honestly, I know this is absolutely outside of what we believe in. I'm thinking that Clemson's going to get it done just because they have a lot of talent. and they have the home field advantage. Now we've been to the Death Valley in South Carolina, and it's loud. It's loud, and they get crazy. I think it's the Cajuns versus the Crazies, maybe.
Yeah.
But you don't have. I don't think there are two more crazy loyal fan bases. Maybe the only other comparable one is South Carolina. I mean, you have those three crazy fan groups, but yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Clemson on this one. I think they're gonna get it done and home crowd and start off phenomenally. I think LSU is a little bit overrated. I think Garrett Nussmeier is more injured than what people are saying or talking about. I know that came out about 2 or 3 weeks ago. In practice, he tweaked something in his leg, but that's coach talk. Start of the season, nobody wants to say we have our Heisman hopeful, our Heisman candidate quarterback is injured. And then Brian Kelly just has a tendency to lose big games.
Well, I don't feel bad for him, if I'm honest, and I don't feel bad for Dabo. I don't like either one of them.
Maybe the state fall in or something. We'll just get lucky.
In all honesty, looking at this game, I think it's interesting. You have a kickoff, 7:30 kick at Clemson. It's supposed to be beautiful day, beautiful weather. That crowd is going to be insane. It's going to be insane. We've been to games there, like you said. As much as I don't like to admit this, it is true. That is one of the loudest places I've ever been in my entire life. I think it's how the stadium is built, and I think it's also how the acoustics work in there. But I'm telling you, and others and people that are listening, Death Valley, Memorial Stadium, Clemson is a loud place to play. I would argue it is as loud as Williams-Brice or really any other stadium I've been to in the SEC. I also think Clemson may actually, and this hurts me to say, may be a bit underrated. I think they're going to be very good this year. I think they're going to be balanced across all sets of the ball. And I think that they come out and I think that they take care of business against LSU. I think LSU gets their first loss of the season. And I think that Clemson sets themselves up to really be able to, I mean, after this game and us, essentially, who do they play to get past of course, the ACC championship and then the playoffs? They should be a shoe-in to the playoff if they win this game.
Another interesting thing that we haven't talked about is that we play both of these teams.
We do.
We're getting some valuable intel on what they're going to throw at each other. And it's other matchups that are, a little bit less in the spotlight, I guess. We're going to see very mild plays and just trying to get that win and things like that. This game, they're going to have to throw all the works out. They're going to have to do the trick plays and all the things that they've practiced. I think that's super interesting as well. And because it's week one, watch for lots of mistakes. I think this is going to be a very dirty ball game, not dirty like the refs for LSU, but dirty as far as, a lot of snap penalties, a lot of movement on the line, and then just a lot of penalties that will maybe decide a lot of series in this game. I think a lot of drives will be maybe potentially just upended because of penalties. So watch for that as well. I think these, like I said, these fans are going to be ready to go. I think LSU fans, for whatever reason, think they're going to go undefeated and not have any adversity. I don't know. You say that you think Clemson might be a little bit underrated, but I think they're sitting at a preseason poll at number 4. They're number 4 in the nation. What is LSU? Are they 9? I think they're 9. So just made the top 10.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to think about that. It's going to be a good one. We'll see. Brian Kelly versus Dabo. Two of my least favorite coaches in the whole world.
All right, and then after we've moved past the Saturday slate. We go to Sunday. We're probably one of the biggest afternoon games on Sunday, but directly after us, you have Notre Dame versus Miami, 2 ranked top 10 teams. That's one of the most highly ranked matchups of the weekend. I hear that Notre Dame is starting a freshman quarterback who's never had a snap before for the first time in the history ever of Notre Dame football. That's interesting to me. Now, you start talking about teams that are prepared and ready. They're always prepared and ready. Miami, to me, seems to be perpetually overrated, at least in our lifetime. I know at one point in time that was a thing. So I'm going to say Notre Dame pretty big in this one, but get your thoughts on that as well.
Well, I know Miami has Carson Beck, and from what I've heard, it's been kind of a disaster. I think Carson Beck is good enough to go and light the ACC on fire. I think Notre Dame is a good enough team defensively to at least make it a close game. You look for, in my opinion, I think it's going to be a close game. And the reason I say that is because, like you said, inexperience on Notre Dame's side, and then that experience. But Carson Beck, to me, is not a great quarterback. I know a lot of people have him in their top 25 quarterbacks or whatever. I don't think he makes the list. He's not impressive. He wasn't impressive at Georgia, and he had all those weapons around him. So that's saying something, you know. And going back to the Arch Manning situation at Texas, really quick with Ohio State this Saturday, you know, Arch doesn't have to be Superman. He's got all those weapons around him. I think that's a big factor in that game as well. Give me, give me Miami in a close one.
All right, interesting, interesting. And then finally, it's game week for our Gamecocks, everybody, which you've actually been waiting 11 minutes now, 12 minutes to hear. At least we hope you're still waiting. So we have South Carolina versus Virginia Tech, opening game in Atlanta, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, 3 p.m. on Sunday. There's a lot of interesting aspects to this game. You have the Beamer situation. You have the Virginia Tech coach, which is somewhat on a hot seat. You have South Carolina coming in probably as hyped as they've been since 2014. Also, is highly ranked since then. We know how that went in 2014, and it wasn't good. We have this perpetual, I said that twice in this episode. It's the SAT word of the week, apparently. But we have a perpetual propensity yeah, I know, it's pretty impressive, right? To start slow. At least people feel that way. I don't know if that's really true. We know the Old Dominion game last year was a rough start. It was also Lenore Sellers' first time really playing in a big game, and so I give him a lot of forgiveness for that. So what I'm asking you is this: what happens on Saturday for South Carolina? First of all,
Sunday.
give me your keys. Yep, Sunday. Give me your keys to the game, and then give me your prediction, and then I'm gonna give you mine, and then we'll wrap it up and see what everyone else thinks.
Okay, so what I'm going to say is the biggest key on defense, it starts with defense, in my opinion. So stopping the run is going to be my biggest thing that I'm trying to circle. I've heard a lot of preseason talk about these linebackers and these defensive players that are pretty good, and they've stepped up to fill those positions that we lost to the league. In my opinion, if we go out and we can consistently stop the run, I believe I think is it Kyron Lacey, Kyron, what's his name? Kyron something for Virginia Tech. He's a dual threat quarterback as well, so he can definitely hurt you with his legs. If we can stop the run and make him throw, that elite secondary that we have should really step up and win that easily for us. And then also you get a lot more if you control the time of possession as well. So stopping the run leads to a lot of things that we like. So number one, stop the run. Number two, I don't think that South Carolina has to be a perfect team by any means in this game. I'm not saying this is not a good competition. I think Virginia Tech is a great team, but maybe not at our level just yet. So I think Lenoris has to do work, but maybe not be Superman, like I said before. And then I think establishing our run game will dictate that time of possession. As soon as we have that time of possession, if we come out on the first drive and I feel like things are really solid on offense and on defense, we can stop the run. I think it's going to be a pretty early out for the are the Aggies, the Hokies,
Hokies.
the Hokies. Yeah, I predict us winning. It's a game that I've been nervous about. I don't know why I'm nervous. I think it's because of all that hype that you mentioned before. But you look at where we are, you look at the talent that we have on the field, and just the talent that we have is enough to put us in a lot of these big ball games. This doesn't feel like one of those huge ball games for us. And then on the other side of that, sorry, I'm not trying to ramble here, but on the other side of that, Virginia Tech seems to lack a lot of talent in those key areas, and I think that's going to hurt them as well. Watch for Faison to have a wonderful game. I think he's going to rush for maybe 100+ yards. I think Lenoris is going to be on fire, ready to go. I think you're going to see an electric defense. I'm going to say 35-17. Give me the Gamecocks on Sunday.
All right, I like it.
Not the only time you'll see us in Atlanta this year either.
All right, definitely like that prediction. Definitely like that. I'll take that all day long. Listen, my keys to the game are similar, but on offense. I really think in order for us to come out and do what you say you think we're going to do, and what I want to see us do, I want to see us establish the run game and establish it quickly and dominate it. We know Faison got cleared to play. It was very, very interesting and important development for South Carolina. However, I'm hearing from practice and different reports that Oscar Adaway's had such a good fall camp that honestly he may be the starter on Sunday. And I don't think that's a bad thing, but I've also heard that Faison is going to get a lot of carries. And so to me, between those two guys and some of the other people in that running back room, I think if we can get something going there, I think that's going to really, really establish a momentum for Sellers that he can get in a groove and open up some passing lanes for him and kind of make these, it's Mike Shula's first real, I won't say real game, but the first time we're starting a season under his offensive coordinatorship. And so I want to see us get in that groove offensively. I want to see us just go down and score. I don't want to see us go 4-and-out and struggle. And so I think that's a really, really big key to the game. The other key to the game, I believe, is seeing Lenore settled and ready. We've heard the hype. We've seen the highlight reels. We've seen the scrimmages. It's time for football. It's time to compete. Lenoris, you're ready. You know, the hype you have is there for a reason. So show Gamecock Nation and show the world why, when people look at South Carolina, they say that team is someone or something you need to watch because of their quarterback. And because of their quarterback, they have a chance to win every single football game.
Mm-hmm.
And so live up to the hype is my key to the game. Live up to that hype and show us why you are a potential Heisman candidate. Why is South Carolina ranked 13th? Why are we considered a playoff contender? It's because of Lenore Sellers being on our team. So I want to see him come and live up to those expectations in the first game on the road and say, yep, this is us and we're here. That'd bring up so much peace of mind to Gamecock fans. It'd be so, so exciting going forward with South Carolina State and Vanderbilt coming up.
Right.
That's my keys to the game. I think this game is one. I don't think Virginia Tech is especially great. That being said, I think it's going to be closer than people think. I'm predicting 24-17 Gamecocks, so in a closer game, but a win nonetheless. I think Virginia Tech gets a score later in the game where it looks better on the scoreboard for Virginia Tech than the game actually was. So I'm predicting that. I'm predicting a Gamecock win. I'm predicting Lenore Sellers lives up to the hype, and I just can't wait to see it all play out on Sunday. I'm so excited.
Absolutely. So you think he's going to start his Heisman campaign on Sunday, huh?
I think he's going to start it. He needs to. We need him to do that.
We do. I honestly, I think he's got as good a chance as anyone does in that Heisman candidate room. I think he's got the physical tools. And here's the exciting thing: he doesn't have to go to the league unless he wants to. So he could come
Right.
back if he has a dominant year and wins the Heisman, does all these things. He could do that again.
Which would be beautiful.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying, and I think it's going to be a great day on Sunday. Hopefully, we're not too nervous or worried.
I don't think so. So, guys, we appreciate you watching and leave your predictions in the comments. Tell us what you think and about what's going to happen. And we're so excited to give y'all our thoughts. Like we said, we're not overly scientific. We're just brothers with an opinion on the team we love. So give us your opinion on the team you love or the team you hate. We don't really care. And we appreciate y'all watching and following. Remember, if you just share on Spotify, share on YouTube, share on Facebook, that helps us out. And we're also going to be announcing pretty soon some Gamecock Bros Show merchandise. Nicholas has been working really, really hard on for you guys. I think you're going to like it. So maybe by the next time we can record our full episode, you guys can see us rocking some Garnet Bros Show gear. And we're excited to share that with y'all. So from us to you, we say go Gamecocks, boo Clemson. And we can't wait to see y'all for our recap after our Gamecock victory on Sunday. Go Cox!